maybe the most disappointing main event in the history of UFC. I gotta tell you, if you blinked, or if you're like me and you clicked on the Big Brother live feed for 30 seconds to see what's going on in that crazy house in the CBS WAD, you missed this fight.
Yeah. Because McGregor makes his walk to the octagon. He looks fine. And he goes to do like a jumping knee strike or something and immediately gets injured. And my guess is it's an ACL injury of some sort from the way he was moving or not really moving. Holloway won this in, I think, like a minute or so. Yeah. It was so anticlimactic, it's not even funny.
So since you brought up a tweet earlier that you sent, I'm going to bring up a tweet that I sent out on Saturday night watching this fight. It says,
Okay.
I'll read it for you if you can't see it. Hashtag UFC, I think I even got the hashtag wrong on the number even, but UFC has gotten the TKO effect like WWE. Where's the company that would give you great fight after great fight with star after star? Now you get quick fights and a bunch of ads.
Yeah, I didn't like that they had ads during the walkouts. That was very annoying. I did not like it. But overall, yeah, it's not like UFC can control how these fights go. They just make the matchups. It's not scripted like WWE where
no, it's not. But there was something watching it, which again I thought I forget what they're calling it, Freedom 250, I think is what they called it at the White House, was put together so much better than this. I don't know. Something was off about this card. I tried to tune in again here and there. Something was off about it the whole night. The vibe was off. And the McGregor getting injured and then Dana White afterwards attacking the media about it. It's very strange. Like I said, I know you're a big fan of UFC. I used to be a fan of the UFC. I'm not as much anymore. I think UFC has sort of lost its luster, and McGregor coming back was supposed to be this big moment. And I think him getting injured, again, no fault of his own, but it is everything that's wrong with the UFC right now, in my opinion.
So the reason I might or might not watch Saturday night's main event is because the UFC does not stop. There is a UFC fight night happening this week. Two former champions are facing each other in a middleweight bout in the main event. You got former UFC middleweight champion Dricus du Plessis taking on former UFC welterweight champion Kamaru Usman at Paycom Center in Oklahoma City. This is a very interesting matchup because, like I said, they're both former champions. Usman is coming up from welterweight, which welterweight is 170 pounds. He's moving up to 185. Dricus is the natural middleweight. So that storyline is there. Again, they're both former champions with good title reigns. And they put on excellent fights during their title reigns. And they're both trying to stay in the title picture, which the middleweight's interesting because Sean Strickland beat Hamzat Chimaev, so he's the middleweight champion. I presume we're going to get a rematch between those two. But Chimaev absolutely destroyed Dricus du Plessis to win the middleweight title. And in the welterweight title scene, we've got the champion Islam Makhachev. He's set to make his first title defense against Ian Machado Gary in the main event of UFC 330, which will go down at Xfinity Mobile Arena in Philadelphia in mid-August. So that's kind of where things are at right now with the UFC. I want them to come back to Cleveland. UFC hasn't been in Cleveland since 2016. I was there. It was one of the greatest nights of my life. Awesome atmosphere. Definitely an enhanced atmosphere because it was Stipe making his first title defense. But still, Dana White, please bring the Octagon back to Cleveland. I don't care if it's a UFC fight night. I don't care if it's a numbered event. Bring the Octagon back to Cleveland. There are UFC fans here. We will bring it to Rocket Arena. Bring the Octagon back. It's been 10 years. Come on.
Question for you, because I have not gone to one of these, but I have a friend who goes to a lot of them and says they're a lot of fun. Have you ever heard of or been to this event? And I know it's mostly in Akron. It's called Cage Thunder. I think it's something you would enjoy.
No, I've never heard of it, never been to it.
From what I've been told, it is not UFC level, but it's really good fighting.
Okay. I might have to look into it.